Hello internet, my name is Jaden and this video marks the beginning of a multi-part video series, a devlog series, where I create and publish my dream game, UpKill. Whoa, wait just a second. If you watched my last video, you might think that I've actually already done this. Well, have I got some news for you. That was just the beginning of my game development saga. That UpKill was a massively stripped back version of my initial dream game. There were a few reasons for this. Mostly because I stupid and didn't have the skills or knowledge to deliver on my initial concept or scope. But by making and releasing my first game and learning a lot in the process, I truly feel that I am ready to undertake creating my dream game. Okay, so what's so different between my current UpKill and the UpKill I want to create? Well, the current UpKill is a wave-based shooter. You fight endless waves of zombies till you die and you earn a high score. Planned UpKill is a roguelite game with randomly arranged rooms, levels or areas you progress through, a shop system with unlockable weapons and skins, and if you die, you need to start your run through the levels all over again. Personally, there is something I find very satisfying with roguelites, that idea of trying again and again and getting better every time, with a different play experience every time. It really adds to the replayability for me, and this is what keeps me coming back to the genre. Okay, so what's first? Well, I've sort of started from scratch. I've actually rewritten UpKill from the ground up with a whole new movement system. And the reason for this is that the Game Maker gamepad support was a very interesting concept for me to learn, and I just thought it'd be easier to sort of start from the bottom and integrate it so that I can easily switch between keyboard and gamepad controls. That was something that was really requested from the first edition of UpKill. With that out of the way, I worked out how to do random level generation. Now, this isn't completely random level generation like you might see in, say, Minecraft. These are actually handcrafted rooms with elements that can be randomized upon creation, like where the chests are or where the enemies spawn. Each of those handcrafted rooms, you could say, are like a card in a deck of cards. That whole deck gets shuffled every time you go to the level, and they get drawn one by one. So you progress through that level in a randomly arranged sort of room. As you progress through the levels, you unlock weapons and skins, and it allows you to progress to each level after that. That system has been implemented, and the way I sort of did it was to think of it almost like a Metroidvania in a sense, where it was like a maze and you could have various options or types of rooms, like going up or going down. I have implemented this and it does work. However, I think I'll actually just stick to having lots of different room templates and then shuffling them all together rather than having a sort of path. Having Metroidvanias and roguelites together can work. However, I think for this game, having it so they're just randomly arranged rooms makes more sense to me than having a path that you can actually follow going backwards and forwards between the rooms. I sort of want to keep the pacing fairly quick and allow the player to go through the levels fairly quickly. Once that was all out of the way, I tried to reintegrate the zombies into the new version of UpKill from the old version of UpKill. And of course, as you can imagine, this went perfectly fine. In this process, I also tweaked the witch zombie a little bit. Previously, whenever the witch zombie was near the player and the player was jumping, it would keep applying a vertical force to stay where the player was. This would give a sort of hovering or flying illusion, but I found that it sort of looked a bit tacky when you were actually playing, so I've now added a can jump variable to the witch zombie, so the zombie can only jump when it's actually on the ground, and if it overshoots the player, it will apply a negative force downwards to sort of cut the jump height to keep it consistently level with the player. Once these key systems were actually implemented, there was one other thing I really needed, and that was like an arena area where the doors, you'd walk in and the zombies would spawn and the doors would shut behind you, and you couldn't escape the room until all the zombies in that area were destroyed. That actually wasn't super difficult to do. Basically just have two booleans, one checking to see if the player's there and another checking if there's zombies there. If there's both, it shuts the doors, and if there's just the player and no zombies, it opens the doors. From there, I've implemented a shop system and an unlock system for the weapons, so locked weapons can spawn in a shop, You pick them up and try and leave the shop, and it'll ask you to actually purchase them. Checks to see if you've got enough money. If you do, you can purchase them. If you can't, it simply says you can't afford this, and they return back. Once you've actually bought a weapon, they become unlocked, and they can be found within the levels through weapon crates or random drops. Each time you visit the shop, different weapons will appear, and it basically, again, it's just like a deck of cards. It shuffles all of the locked weapons and presents you ones that are in that deck. Once you purchase them, they go from the locked deck into the unlocked deck. So how do you actually get money in this new version of UpKill? Well, money will be dropped through things like crates and zombies in the levels themselves. The player can go through and collect them and then take them back to the basement. The basement is where the shop will be. However, when the player wants to leave the basement, they actually have to give up all of their money. This leads to an interesting decision. Does the player continue upwards through all of these levels, ranking up a lot of money to make a big purchase on what could potentially be a expensive, powerful weapon in the basement? Or do they take their little earnings and go back down and wage their bets on getting a cheaper gun? That sort of decision making, I think, really helps the flow and pacing of the game, going from a really fast pace, shoot, 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 kill, 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 and at the end of the level, you have to make a decision if you want to continue doing that, or if you want to risk it. I think it adds a lot of dimension to the game. After I had implemented those core concepts, I needed a bit of a break from programming and decided to do some pixel art. I've been getting really comfortable with Sprite lately, putting a lot of hours into it, trying to learn how to do pixel art. And I found that actually having a large sheet with all of my sprites and assets on it really helped a lot. It helped with scaling, it helped with the direction of lighting, the theme. I found it a lot better doing it this way than working on them each separately and then putting together and find they don't work. What I can do from here is take each individual little thing out, put it in its own file, and then animate it and do what with I will. After I'd done quite a few assets on this massive sprite sheet, I began putting them into the game, seeing what they looked like, and I was really happy with them. So this is where I'm at so far. I will continue to deliver these devlog videos, potentially fortnightly is what I'm aiming for, just to show you the progress of this new version of UpKill, and as I learn more about Game Maker Studio 2 and increase my programming knowledge in general. If you'd like to stay updated on the game, you can of course hit that subscribe button if you wish, and you can also leave me a comment if there's anything you'd like to see in the game or if you have any feedback. I'd love to hear from you, and you can also contact me on the social networks and the descriptions, or the links to those will be in the descriptions below. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.